Hey, welcome. All my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. And I'm in the book. We roll on page 46. We're about to learn about what is the philosophy of the Shems. What the hell is a Shem? Good question. I had an answer for you during the lesson. So let's break it down for you. That's the direction we're going in. If you're following along, I'm taking page by page of the book. I'm just walking through. I used to cherry pick. No, I'm just going to do walking through what I used to think was fluff. I find interesting to just present it. So it's all in the teaching. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive it. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is foolish, simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow him. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and always to Maya, the truth. Right thinkers, let's talk about people philosophy on what is the philosophy of the Shems. I'm gonna break it down for you again. It says here, Shem means to follow. A Shem is like a Christian following Christianity, a Muslim following Islam, or a Jew following Judaism. We follow Shita Nedaria, that makes us Shems. Let's talk about it. All right. So again, we're speaking philosophical about purposes for living and what you need to do to fulfill that purpose by learning and knowing who you are. This purpose, awakening to the divine consciousness, meaning knowing thyself, representing the concept of nihas. The full extension of highest level of knowledge is called nihas, and it is only fulfilled through a process of shims. What does it mean to follow something? Okay, study, learn it, practice it, and become part of it. You follow the group. I became a Mason. I had to study the Masonic laws, study the bylaws. I did all that. A lot of people didn't. That's why I was the master and dean of instruction. I learned. Okay, and that's if you follow something, you should learn it. Why should some things be followed and learned, others over and not? What should be followed in life? Right there. We have people follow sports. I was one. Follow. You can engender and follow anything that suits your fancy, your interest. Okay, and that's all fine. But these are certainly some of the most important questions of life because it's if serious thought is put into them, they involve critical thinking and questions about life. One of them is, who am I? A lot of people thinking on their name, their birthday, social security number. That's identification. That's not who you are. You are trying to identify yourself with somebody who don't understand. So obviously, and sometimes with that, you don't even know who you are. So you need to get the answer for yourself. Hence, know thyself. I don't have a problem with knowing who I am. Okay, and that's one is, why am I here? I tell you all the time, we're spiritual beings here to have a human experience. This is a test of life to get to the afterlife. This is the preceding life. This is the pre-life. This is the preliminary. You get this right, you make it to the afterlife. It's a game. Okay. But and what is my purpose? Ding, 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 ding. Again. To know who the hell you are, to go back home or keep recycling and living this life over and over again. A lot of us continue to do. All right, that's the purpose of this book, to teach you to climb that tree of life, to know yourself, to become one with God, and stop the cycle of reincarnation. Resurrection is the way to go. Resurrect spiritually and consciously. That way you're resurrected forever when you get to the next level after the physical body dies. Let's go. I'm trying to give you understanding, reason, purpose, everything they're asking questions to. We have the answers. And which are and it should be some of the most important concerns of your life. You only live for you. You ain't living for your mother, your brother, sister. No, this should be for you. Everything I give is self. That means you. This treaty on the Anuian theology of God, study of God's, suggests some answers. Here you go. We ain't saying it. We're going to suggest them. How about that? Just going to put them out there for you. Like I do everything else. You just put it out there. Let them do what they want to do with it. But they are offered from a higher perspective and from our ancient Egyptian concept. Its attendant teachings as developed by who? The ancient sage of a philosophy back then they called Shitat Nana, which was the African religion in ancient times. The reason why it was a religion, because they practiced it daily. Any routine and regimen you put forth, that's the religion that you profess, that you follow the religion. Okay, I understand that. And down here it says, 2, I am Shems in Nebercha. This is the hieroglyph. I tell you, it's the trilateral. You see here? This is the hieroglyph. This is how it's written. This is what it means, and this is the translation to understand it. Okay? I just read you one down here. That's where we are now. You see it? Everybody, they all had the same thing, and I'm just trying to break it down so you can understand it. So that's right. All right? Now this one says, I am a follower of the virtue, meaning I'm a follower or I'm a believer in God, however you want to put it. But their faith and belief in God was sincere. That's why he said, I am a follower of God. I say the same thing. Question now is, which God? No, it ain't. It ain't but one God. Man creates his own names and diversions for God, but the attribute of God don't change. So that's the part that don't change. God don't change. He don't give a damn what you call him. Call him Ishkabib, what he can. But if the deeds you do is worthy of his blessing, he'll do that for you. Why? He know you. He know you more than you know him. Let's go. All right. But see, right here. And then that's what says, Sish in Keparu. Keparu is the scarab head man. He represents new beginning. The sun every morning is considered a new beginning. On the horizon is represented by Kepra. And the scarab beetle, if you understand anything about them, they are born out of dung. Shit, feces. Okay? So they come out ready to go. Okay? They hatch the eggs in the dung, and they push the dung backwards to follow the rays of the sun to keep the heat on the dung, warm it up. So when they get ready to come out, they're ready to go do what they do, get more dung. All right. And that's the cycle of life from that aspect. And that's why they use it. We took the gift from the animal that God gave it, and we used it for a more noble and glorious purpose for us to specify it and use it from a different perspective. That's like my Masons do it all the time. That's where I got the concept from. I learned it from them. But again, the answer to the questions of life were given by the sages of ancient times. In following the spiritual path, if that's what you're doing, a pastor, when he's preaching, he know you come to hear him preach. He ain't trying to preach to you to try to, no, he's preaching what he preached. So as a teacher, I feel the same way. And my pastor philosophy is I preach to one, as I preach to 1,000. So I adopt the philosophy, I teach to one as I teach to 1,000. But no difference. Only question is how many are coming to hear it. Okay, that's the difference. All right, so they got a thing called plates. And plates are pictures. Okay. This is a plate. It got all 3 different branches of religion. Anuian, Wasetian, and Hecapata, which is in Memphis, or Memphis. And each one of them had their own god, which was Amen, Ra, Ptah, separately. I can give you all that. But this is a breakdown I'm going to give. Well, if I had time, each one of these represent their own individual concept. And that's what I'm going to go through. Each one of them, you're going to learn about the all-encompassing, wing this. This is what Haru turned into to defeat his uncle Set, his evil uncle. But it's a game of life that if you understand the pieces, like playing chess, once you understand the movement of the chess pieces, you can manipulate them any way you want. And in competition, that's the best thing way I can explain it. It's like a chess match, and these are the pieces. But a lot of people can't play chess. Why? They don't understand the movement of the pieces. I do. And anybody who plays chess do too. Anybody can play checkers. You just move, 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 move. No, this is a little more thinking. And that's what they call it. It's a formula. It's a codified formula, okay, to get you to God. The goal is to get you to God. All right? And this is the breakdown. But breakdown, as I start reading, these are going to come to mind. This is the top part up here. This is the noon, okay? High level, subtle. You got all-encompassing God. You got the noon. You got me hurt, the female aspect. Come down here, the three phases of Ra. Then come down further, you got the three different branches of religious philosophy for each God. And all these people play a role in everything. This is you in the end. Haru-u. Excuse me. That means you have mastered yourself while on earth in the physical form by learning every aspect of your character. That's what every God and goddess is, an aspect of your character that you should know, understand, and master. Hence, know that self. And we got a bunch of pages. I'm going to break it down as we go along. This is fun. I feel like I'm in the classroom. Okay, page 68. Right here. But I just broke down for you. I'll break it down for you again. These are the aspects I'm about to break down. It started with the god Kepru. He gave the information to Tahuti. He's the author of the scripture. He the one that wrote everything down. He wrote the Madronetta. Getting it from him, he got it, wrote it down. He gave it to Hadu. She gave it to Asar. Asar shared it with Aset. Aset gave it to me and you, Haru. That's the sun. This is us mastering all aspects of the physical world, earth, ourselves. And this is the generations that's been passed down for generation with that philosophy. Okay? I'm going to break it down for you as we go. We're going to get a mental picture. Okay? And then I got this one here. They break it down to Anuian. Everyone has a different breakdown. This is the whole breakdown here. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but if you break it down bit by bit, it'll make sense to you. Hopefully you'll understand it. That's my goal. That's what I'm trying to get done. So I'm over here now reading about the Shems and the plate. I just broke that down. But I just showed you with the plate on the teachings. It says here, the term Shitet 2 means teachings of the spiritual philosophy, Shita Netta, as an ancient Egyptian, the mysteries, in other words, Shita Netta, breaking down, discovering what the hidden mysteries about the gods. And teachings of Shita Netta were given by the Supreme Being, we know Nabercha, and written down by who? The Creator, Kepru, the scary-haired beetle guy I told you about. He wrote it down, and then he himself passed it down in the form of philosophy, teachings to what? Lord Tahuti. He in turn codified it, those into hieroglyphic. He wrote it down, put it in text, and he passed it down. The teacher was passed down to Het Hadu. And from Het Hadu, God Asar, the physical matter, spirit made matter. Asar, the first man, spirit. He called it the soul. He represents the soul of God. So, and his sister, goddess wife, Aset, she learned it. She represents wisdom. That's your ability to think and comprehend. That's her job. And her, and how she gave it, what? To her son, Haru. That's me and you. When you have spirit and wisdom together, the offspring would be aspirants. That's us, Harus. We aspirants to what? To be our best self. To become what? Haru-er. That means Haru the Great. And you are that. And this is why it's the greatest story ever told. It's about life. It's about you. Okay? Every hero's journey is about you. So she taught it to Haru. Haru mastered that. That was him with all the animals, him staying on top of everything. He had self-mastery. And through history, to succeeding generation. Now the picture I showed you, the old picture with the priests and the priestesses all learning what? The Netherlands religion. It was passed down from generations to generations, 3,000 years to be exact or more. But what does it mean to be a follower of Sheet Netta or right thinking philosophy, spiritual teachings? Good question. Good question. Let's go. So if you're reading this, I remember when I read this, I said, wow, yeah, you come down this road, I got you. If you walk in this way, we know you come here for. That's the concept. All right. And it's because at one time or another, in your mind, you have come to the recognition or the idea of the need for what? Self-betterment in not just you, but in humanity. My goal is to try to save the world, enlighten the world with what? Knowledge of self. Okay, that's a lofty goal, but yeah. But also for you to promote what? Your own ability to reach nihas, aka spiritual awakening, the emancipation of ignorance, and the resurrection of knowledge of oneself. You become a different being. Like the caterpillar, when he go into the metamorphosis, everything from the caterpillar is gone. He's a whole different entity. That's when you become spiritually enlightened. You become a whole different way of thinking. You become a whole different person. This is why people don't understand the change. It starts from the inside, and the only visual they got is the way you do how you do. And some of them misunderstand and misinterpret it. He think he all that. He think, I'm just better than myself. And if you're not, I am better than you. I don't think none of that. I'm just doing. So, and that's called a spiritual resurrection. You're born again into what? Light of understanding, the glory of God. Yeah, I say a whole bunch of stuff, but the idea is to do it. So therefore, you yourself have personally engaged in what we call a spiritual search that has led you where? Here now, to get more knowledge. You're craving, you're hungry, you're trying to feed you. What? Knowledge. So what needs to be done here in order for you to reach the state of what we call consciousness known as nihas? There must be a nihas, a wakefulness, a willing to want to wake up. That means a desire, aspiration. That's what we call it, aspirants. You're not here because I'm twisting your arm. You're not here because I'm making you a whole bunch of promises about this and the third. I ain't threatening you, no. I'm just here to help you. So being awakened implies what? Wakefulness towards what? The teachings that you're being taught. Right thing of philosophy daily. That is being attentive, having attentiveness, and spending time and your desires to learn and master their craft, they call it, for spiritual pursuits. You want to master yourself. You want to master the spiritual disciplines that you're being taught. You have to implement them. You have to live by them. That's how it's done. And this means being mature enough to have grown beyond your childish pursuits of worldly things and interests of the physical world and the ideas of life. Oh, I'm supposed to have this. I'm entitled to that. No, no, no. You don't need none of that. When you start getting comfortable with the bare essentials, that's cool. Everybody, you don't need a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of people think they do 2 cars, 3 houses, all that nonsense. No, you can't. One thing at a time. But everybody's entitled. Again, free will means everybody can do and say however, whatever they want. Hold on one second. Yeah, sorry about that. But this means that being mature enough to have grown beyond your childish pursuits of worldly interests and ideas of life. Many people think that following the teaching is easy. On hearing on the ancient Egyptian proverb, searching for oneself in the world is the pursuit of an illusion. It's a waste of your time. But they continue to do it. Let's go. But they intrinsically know the truth of this statement. We hear it in the statement, but it don't pertain to us. Somehow or another, it don't mean me. So, however, many of those same people who have heard and agreed continue to pursue worldly illusions instead of applying themselves fully to the teachings and living in accordance with its principles that I follow, Mayat. Needing to have a job to support oneself and one's family is a practical reality. Don't let that be excused, but should not be an impediment to your intensive spiritual practice. daily. However, it will become an obstacle if that job or your career is the main object of your life and in your life. That all you do is live to work. This is Capricorns are hooked on working. But the teachings should be the main object and the job should be the means of finance and the intensification of your daily practice of the teachings. You have to implement them. We must conclude that until the action follows the thought, you can think all you want. Until you put it to action, is nothing. So the thought is not being held as a reality or a priority. So there is insufficient maturity and attention paid to it in such a person to pursue what the teachings in an intensive and advanced way. Most people just lollygag through, say, yeah. But if you are into this, you will get out what you put in. Trust me. But your choices of actions will reveal your lower state of maturity. Again, the ego and aspirations. Such people should follow at the level of what we call practice. That includes you showing devotional practices daily and following the rituals in your daily life and the study of Maya, aka right thinking philosophy, teachings, in order for you to develop what? Purity of one heart until a higher level of aspiration develops within you. You're getting better at what? Knowing you. The focus here is for you to develop Arit Maya. That means right actions, offering righteous actions, living a righteous life. I call it living right daily. The opposite of nihas is num. N-U-M. That means to sleep, slumber, slothfulness, immaturity, and ignorance. A little slow at comprehending. A person who is immature cannot adapt to the teachings properly. Why? Insufficient ability to comprehend what's being taught to them. Okay? And will thus, they will not be able to follow it correctly. What is needed is wakefulness, nihas, towards your higher perceptives in life, and the slothfulness, noom, towards that which is degrading. If it's bad, don't do it. Simple, okay? This means you as the aspirant should always be awake to and what? Awaken into an authentic spiritual tradition that can lead you to the achievement of transcendental of your higher consciousness as opposed to the ordinary egoistic world people who are asleep, and towards the higher perspective of wakefulness towards the higher self, what is base, degrading, and illusory, they love that in their life. They live for that. That's ignorance. It causes fetters. Those are the fetters that you bring upon by living a lifestyle. Once there is spiritual wakefulness, there we go. Once you get better, spiritual sensitivity, spiritual awareness, you become a spiritual aspirant. And you have respect for the teacher, the sage, and reverence toward the spiritual teachings and the divine, aka God. There should be nihas, meaning wakefulness, watchfulness, alertness, diligence, and diligence. You should be doing all those things. There are many who follow the spiritual teachings of all traditions who at times appear to have grown and at other times seem to regress or fall back on their old habits. If something ain't working for somebody that they try, at a certain point in time, they're going to revert back what they're comfortable with. That's what they're saying. And degrading passions of your ego and your desires. That's Adba, A-B-A. But in order to truly follow an idea and see it through, one must steady on the path and watchful for that negative behaviors and the negative patterns that do not draw you back into your earlier, lower states of consciousness, going back to what you used to do because it was comfortable to you. Something new is kind of hard, and you'll try it. Sometimes you say, the hell with that, I'm going back, okay? That's defeatist attitude, self-defeating. When you get caught cheating, sometimes you don't want to pay them dues. Wrapping it up with this one, I see the clock. Okay, I'm right here, right? Last paragraph. So as a Shem, right thinking philosopher, it is also means to have nefer. That means kunt nefer, meaning good association. I was told, if you're the smartest one in the room, get out that room while you're in the wrong room. Moving on. And I agree 100%. I know just what they mean. So, divine association, meaning hanging out with somebody who can elevate your consciousness, not degrade it. So, joining others together, this is a special association with like minded people, unlike the worldly minded kinds of groups that have worldly goals and objective of what religious goals and objective. Shems, aka right thinkers, Shems is the coming together of followers of God. That's why I fellowship with my Christian family at church in the Christian concept. They are followers of God. I'm with that. Okay, that's why I associate with them. That's good association. Excuse me. It's good to hang out around people who are devoted to what? The divine. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, or Jew. If you got conscious, I'm with you. And for the purpose, you fellowship for the purpose of promoting righteousness, order, in what? Society, and also spiritual awakening and spiritual enlightenment for those who are ready to tread the path of what we call self-knowledge for higher consciousness and to reach immortality by becoming one with God, and now you live on forever. That's the game. That's the name of the game. That's the lesson. Hope you got something from it. Hope you understand it. But I'll be back with some more. And in closing, right there, because may you all live to be 100. May 100 minus that day. So I'll never know right thinkers who want to know the philosophy of Shems passed away. Now you know.